sees love as taking up responsibilities, which is actually correct. But most times they neglect other areas of life they need to pay attention to in pursuit of taking up responsibilities. An African man feels like when he pays the children's school fees, he has shown his love to the family.
Very, very important.
A father can go extra mile to borrow money, do hourly shifts, do a lot of things to get money to pay the school fees of a child. But you never for one day hug the child or show physical affection.
Welcome to HopefulMe Family Week. My name is Esther Omechi and with me is
Johnson Crystal.
Alright, today we'll be having some discussions around the family. Alright, JCK, are there any issues or patterns that you feel that needs to be addressed?
In families, right?
Yes, in families.
Well, from an African setting, I feel like men have a skewed perspective about taking up responsibilities and love. A man sees love as taking up responsibilities, which is actually correct. But most times they neglect other areas of life they need to pay attention to in pursuit of taking up responsibilities. An African man feels like when he pays the children's school fees, he has shown his love to the family.
Very, very important.
A father can go extra mile to borrow money, do hourly shifts, do a lot of things to get money to pay the school fees of a child. But you never for one day hug the child or show physical affection. They just feel like when they provide, they've done their job.
Main responsibility.
And the thing is, it's incomplete because your children don't really see the effort you make as a father to provide for them. What they see is the gesture, the hugs, the physical interaction, all those activities that surround what you show to them as a father. You get, so that is one of the dysfunctions I see. And then this makes some persons feel like they need to have money to be relevant because men define money as responsibility. They define responsibility as the way of showing love, and I feel like it's a dysfunction for most families.
And this is very, very important because when you show love to your children, it really affects their identity, really affects their confidence. They can go out and not feel ashamed because most of the time when they don't see their dad is hug them or show them this affection, they'll be like, they're not important, they're not worth it. And so when they go outside, they're just silent, they don't even see the need to contribute, and they not feel they feel sidelined somehow. So it tells a lot about their identity, it tells a lot about their confidence and their self-worth as the parents.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I usually tell my friends I'm loved at home. So whenever things are happening and it's not going my way, I know I'm loved at home. So I don't go around feeling like I don't have a place I'm coming from. So that's why it's important for fathers especially to show affection alongside the financial responsibilities too. So dear fathers, it's not just enough to pay the school fees, pay the rent. Your children need physical affection. And that's why guys are not used to physical affection because they always trained up to be man up and all. That's why when the guy is hugged, he feels.
Even when he cries, even when he's in pain, when he cries, they'll be like, "Be a man, yes, chest it out, don't cry, don't cry," and the rest.
So, which to an extent is good for a man not to cry and all those things, but we should not normalize it. It's okay for a man to cry. It's okay for a man to feel
show
weak,
emotions.
to show emotions. Yes. So that's a little bit of a dysfunction I see in families today.
Alright, thank you so much, Jessica.
So how about you?
For me, one thing I've noticed is that most times kitchen chores are just given to the ladies only while the boys are allowed to go and play, to go and do something else. They feel like they're preparing the girls for adulthood, for marriage. Imagine when a guy says she cannot cook, I'm like, and you want to marry, that kind of thing. So this issue needs to be tackled because definitely the guys are also eating from that kitchen too. And I feel like this skill should be a basic skill that both the girls genders, and the boys should learn, not solely for the ladies, because before the men actually marry, they will stay as bachelors, and so if they don't have these life skills, how will they survive?
Okay, well, what you said is actually correct. Men are not usually compelled to learn how to cook when growing up. I remember when I was growing up as a child, I heard that if a man goes to the kitchen, you know, group yes. Like if you look into a pot, you know, group yes. All those fallacies.
Yeah.
So, but I'm happy that my parents actually encouraged us to start cooking as young guys because it made me value what happened in the kitchen. So even as a man, I cook, I do basic kitchen stuff.
Not just enjoying the product that comes from the kitchen.
And this issue of men not being allowed to go to the kitchen or not being encouraged to go to the kitchen, it affects how they decide to see men. When a guy tells you I want to be a chef, I want to go to cooking schools, you'll be like, what's the man doing there? Like it does not feel like it's a masculine kind of role. So it's actually an issue in the society that we need to address. It's okay for men to cook. It's okay for women to also cook.
Okay for women to do dishes too.
Yes, wash plate, do all those things. But you know that in an African setting, a man may not really be expected to do all this, but you need to know how to do it. It's what makes you a human being. It's not really a gender specific thing.
Exactly.
You should know how to cook. If I really know how to cook, it makes the cooking duties easier for your wife. You can suggest meals. You can help her when she's not available. Like it should. I don't know if we should normalize men cooking. Yes, and then for men that don't know how to cook, I have a book I published, Own Your Kitchen, so you can get the book.
Know where to get the book and read.
And it's going to help you out.
It will not reduce your masculine nature.
You still be a man.
Alright, you still be a man. Alright, so on our list, another point is most times when children express themselves, or maybe there's a rule and then you ask your parents like, Mommy, why is this rule? And then most times parents see this as them rebelling against them, as a rebel, as a threat. They are going against their authority, they are going against their order. So what will you say about this particular issue now?
Okay, in an African setting, we're speaking from an African perspective.
Yes.
Respect is top, is a huge priority for families. So in some traditions, when an elderly person comes into a room, the young people they prostrate, like to show how much respect you value our elders. So it also transcends to our relationship with them. When an elderly person says something, because of the respect you have, you won't want to question the elder or try to be very inquisitive because you want to still keep that respect there. But then things are changing. It's okay for young children to ask questions. It's okay for young children to know why there are rules and all that. It's okay for them to make inquiries about why you are doing what you are doing.
Express themselves freely.
There are times a father will tell the children, maybe an elder sibling, don't come back home late. Once it's 5 p.m, make sure in the house.
And like, why?
And then you as the other sibling come back by 7, 8, 9 p.m. And they come ask you, Uncle, you say you should not come back, or brother, you say you should not come back by very late, but you are coming back late. Then you get annoyed that they are shouting back at you, or they are trying to go loggerheads with you and all that. But these are them trying to be inquisitive. So I feel like there should also be a balance.
Yes.
And there's some things you shouldn't question an elder from an African perspective, because they reserve that right to themselves. But then when there's need to ask questions, you also ask those questions. There's something I cannot ask my father. He's an elderly person. I respect his decisions and his opinion and his regulations in the house. That's why he's my father. So I don't need to ask him why those regulations are there. But then there are also cases where I need to ask him. So I feel like there should be a balance. Children should be able to relate to their parents and ask them questions. And then children should also know that there are some questions that you cannot ask. Even God, our Father, some questions you cannot ask God. So I feel like there should just be a balance. So we don't ask and over ask and and all that. That's my opinion.
Alright, so this issue, I feel like we should teach our children how to ask these questions respectfully, because I know that at times that's why you can be sounding like you're questioning my order, like, Mommy, why? But they want to know, Mommy, why is this happening?